Hello again. As you can see, we've been constructing a battle panda. I feel like it's Daisy. I believe that's the name of the panda. That's right, the cow.
Stacy.
The Stacy.
Stacy.
Yeah, I can see it being more of a Stacy. It's just a.
It looks like a Stacy.
One of these things was the girlfriend of somebody that was on the previous panel for I can't remember.
Well,
it has a name. We're going with Daisy until otherwise corrected. So Daisy riding Snuggles into battle, leading the charge on behalf of VS Gaming. Of course, where we are, enjoying some fantastic CSGO.
yes.
Two pretty exciting games in particular so far. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. But before we do that, I want to first give you some stats, because stats are fun. So 49% of you felt that XTC were going to take that game. So look at the other 41% and shake your finger, laugh, mock them, that sort of thing. It'll be good. I expect to see stream responses. Get going. You have work to do. And then, of course, another person that you need to give a hard time to is Tyron Leppen, also known as Tyrox, who won himself a StatTrak AK-47, which is definitely something I'm stealing because I know him. It's the frontside misty one in particular. So
Well, I mean, that could also come to my Steam account. I'd like it, thanks.
I'm definitely just going to. I know him, so I'm going to be. Hey,
You
Tyron.
can't pull that card.
I guess I can.
No,
yes,
you
I can.
can't.
What's the point of being in this position if I can't abuse people I know?
Why have power if you don't abuse it?
Exactly. I mean, this man understands. You are going to make a great little leader one day. So, risque jokes aside, let's get back on track here. So, we're just going to talk a little bit more about the previous match. I think it does deserve a little bit of our attention. And then, of course, get going into EN versus WRG. So, first thing that stuck out to me was that XTC really seemed to favor planting on the A plant in on their side as T.
Yeah.
In fact, I was keeping the note until round 12. In fact, you were keeping note. I just stole the stat from you. That by round 12, they'd only actually planted once on B side. What do you guys think about that?
I think they decided already in advance what they wanted to do. They were like, right, guys, this is the strat, this is how we want to play. And the main thing that we saw from XTC was just, it seemed like they had a game plan. They knew how to beat XD, and they were never going to deviate from that, regardless of how the rounds were going. We saw a couple of times what would happen. Did we even see them tag pause? I don't even think we saw that. Like, the entire game, what would happen is they'd lose one round, right? And you would expect that, okay, next round they're going to try to change things up, go a different place, maybe even go for an econ round or go for a quasi-buy. It never happened. They did the same thing, the same structure the entire time, and it worked for them.
Yeah, if it works 7 rounds, why change it, sort of thing. If you're on that amount of a win streak on a site, and you found the weakness and you know how to abuse the weakness, then by all means, carry on abusing it. I just feel that once, because they were on that streak, and then attack pause came out from XD, and it just seemed then that it started changing a bit because XD picked up a couple of rounds. They started playing a little bit more structured. Their holds were good. Their players started showing up. They're getting the headshots, making sure that the entries are dying when they're trying to enter, not getting killed. And by that stage, they didn't change much because they kept going A. And then after sort of halftime, when it was a 10-5 half?
Yeah, that's 10-5.
Yeah, 10-5 half.
Yeah.
After that, then we saw a bit of, obviously them going on the CT side. They, again, played passive and, holding on the side.
What was really impressive for me watching how XCC were playing it, PND, he kept, I think, like 3 or 4 rounds in a row, he was always ready by the boost point, making sure that there's no possible way for XD to actually make inroads towards A. So kind of forcing them to go towards B, where XCC are already more comfortable playing around that area anyway. Because they know A very well, that's how they were winning. So they know if you try to win in another way, they can know how to stop you. I think we only saw 2 or 3 bomb plant actual wins from XD. Most of the time, they were forced into situations where to win, you have to kill everybody. Because strategically, I think XD, after a point, realized that strategically they were beaten. And what they had to do was try and outskill XTC. And sometimes it would work. So we get amazing things like the Asterix, the Asterix 3K kill. But well, I'll hold up.
Yeah, we're not going there yet.
But beyond that, like, it got to a point where XD, what they started doing, like Spoof started changing up his buys, going for like I think P90s a couple of times. So trying to do something different, try to throw off XTC's game plan, because I think even XD realized, guys, the thing we're doing to try and win this game isn't really working for us anymore, and they try to change it up. But I think at that point it's kind of too late when the enemy team has your number like that, and one of your best players firstly isn't showing up, and now is forced to go into different item builds. Then it doesn't really end up working out for you.
But before we go too far away from the initial point about the planting, I mean, we've gone pretty far already, but let's bring it back. There's something I wanted to ask is about the tactics indeed.
Yes.
Do we feel that XD did they just do the same thing? Did they just repeat the same mistakes? Did they try to change things up a bit?
They try to change things up. I mean, we did see then the quicker rotate from mid to A when the plant was when the execute was coming in, but it just seemed like they weren't hitting the shots. I mean, you had, I can't remember who it was holding forklift, and the flashes and smokes came in. He creeped through the smoke, went back to forklift, waited just a little bit too long to start firing, and then missed the kill. And then that then puts a man advantage inside of the terrorists. And I think that there is why they lost so many. They just didn't take the duels quick enough.
Right. And you did also mention the tack pauses. Like
Yes.
to point out with 2 tack pauses, that is
Yeah.
2 more tack pauses than the average game or South African game of CS:GO.
Yeah, I think the tack pause from XD came at the right time. XTC were just on a roll, and I want to say they didn't use it to break momentum, but I think that was part and parcel of the reason. They were sitting. It was that was actually the first round where I think it was Spoof picked up the P90.
Yeah, immediately afterwards, yeah.
And he didn't have enough money to buy, but he had enough money to say buy like Armor UMP, or I think he bought the P90 after the tack pause, and he wasn't aggressive enough with it. It's the weapon that you need to be aggressive with. You need to catch somebody off guard. You need to get a kill, trade out for an AK or something.
I mean, speaking about Spoof, he also was somebody that we felt he was kind of bottom logging.
Yeah.
But you gents felt that's probably because he's the IGL and with the subs. I mean,
Yeah, I think in IGL generally you see, well, not, I wouldn't say generally, in some cases you see the IGL not performing as well, just because they focus more on the tactics of the game, where they want to go, what they want to do. You do see a lot of IGL suffer in performance side when they're playing on.
I think also in this game, part of the reason why Spoof wasn't doing as well in terms of in-game leadership was probably trying to open up space so that the rest of his team could do a lot better. And it kind of worked out. Rakno did really well.
Yeah, he did.
Like,
He did.
So it's one of those things where you do what you have to do for the team. Sometimes it's not about you, it's not about your own glory. There were times you could see where he wouldn't have any utilities, wouldn't have a flash or anything, but he'd run in first, right, expecting that he would draw all the aggro, draw the fire, while his team could try and maybe make a flank play.
Yeah,
and sometimes it actually did work out. I think it was round 13. One of the rounds they won just before the halftime, where he went and he pretty much solo died, trying to creep through from mid, but then the rest of his team was already at the A bomb side, like ready, trying to get things going. So you're like, oh, okay, so maybe you can try and do something, try to bottleneck the enemy team. So you do what you have to do to try and win the game. So, but sometimes your own score suffers, but what can you do?
well, hopefully win the game.
Well, that's the main aim, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably the only score that matters at the end of the day, is how many maps you have.
Yeah.
Unless you, assuming you don't care for being kicked. I mean, that's probably something to consider your own
That's every player's nightmare
personal
sort of thing.
profession. It's time now.
Is it time?
Is it-
It's
yeah.
the time.
You ready for this?
Okay.
You've been waiting.
Recoil.
Yes.
What did you think of Asterix's 3K
There we go.
in round 25?
That was okay.
Okay. Moving right along then. Glad we had this discussion.
Oh, come on.
No, it was good. I mean, it's you don't generally see a lineup like that, and it wasn't a clutch moment. It was 10, 15. I think it was 10 or 11, 15, and it did win them the round. I mean, an amazing 3K that came out of him. I expected after that that XD would take a couple more rounds.
Yeah.
I think I was saying on the panel, I hope they take a couple more rounds so that my prediction comes true, but obviously that didn't happen. It generally, we've seen it already in this tournament where a player shines in a round and then the next 2 or 3 rounds are sort of won on that moment.
Yeah.
We didn't see that, unfortunately, but it was a great 3K. I mean, lined up double headshot and then a third coming out of CT.
Yeah.
It was good.
And we saw what even happened within the booth. Like, immediately afterwards, the XD players looked like a different team. Like, sure, they lost the next round, but they actually, I think if that had happened a lot earlier, like, it would have given them a lot more momentum, a lot different things to think about, right? You're thinking about,
yeah, definitely.
You're not thinking about, like, okay, guys, we made that one call, all got smoked, and then 3 of us died. You're thinking about, hey, our one clutch player came through, saved the round for us. Guys, we can keep doing this. We can do this again.
Yeah.
So it changes everything, but a little bit
An
an amazing play at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, obviously a good point for the losing side in this matchup. Interestingly enough, I was chatting to some players outside, and they actually preferred to play against XTC in the lower bracket than XD. So it's interesting from that perspective as well, where XD may be a little bit more of a threat down there then this game might show. So we'll see how they handle the low bracket as well. But obviously, congratulations to XC for keeping their run the winners bracket alive. But another two sides that have done so, in fact, already progressed to round 2, and this is the beginning of round 2, is Energy and White Rabbit Gaming. And fortunately, we get to enjoy another video between two of their players.
Welcome back to another round of banter here at the VS Gaming Masters. We've got Hulkies from WRG and Cannibalistic from Trevor. Cannibalistic from Trevor from Trevor. So we're going to start off with Hulkies and see what he has to say to Cannibalistic.
The only way Energy is able to pick up a W is to pick up their old ex-player Black Poison.
Ooh, yeah, that's not as bad as WRG's only W being in Dota, though.
I saw that coming.
That's deep.
Okay, we'll cut it off there. I can't do this.
Right. Well, that happened.
Oh, you know, apparently Dota keeps coming up at this event. I don't know why.
Who would possibly know?
Who could possibly know?
Who could possibly know the answer to that question?
Like, you know, maybe Valve being involved might have something to do with it. I don't know.
I don't know. CS is clearly the better game, though.
But who wins this round, guys? I think that's a clear EN win. In that
Yeah.
round.
Yeah, that was.
But in its
that
own
was,
right,
yeah.
that's also a WRG win. You know, like there are some WRG players out there like yes,
That are
good,
like, yeah,
good.
this
Well
is
played.
okay. Yeah.
representing well. And others sort of, you know, laughing about it, which is good. I mean, it's good to see them having fun. Also, I feel like that it's important to note that Congo definitely lost that somehow.
Yeah,
Yes,
he
Congo
did.
lost, yeah.
Definitely lost.
Minus 2 points.
I think memes will be made.
Yeah.
Memes will be made
Yeah.
over then.
I
We
like-
should see the gifts coming, I think.
Yeah, I like that. Cannibalistic from Trevor.
Cannibalistic from
Cannibalistic
I
from
mean,
Trevor.
you've seen it here first, ladies and gentlemen. An entire new MGO has formed around one player.
One player.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we expect he'll be entering this tournament alone. He'll just
Solo,
be,
yeah.
He should actually change his name now to
Cannibalistic
Cannibalistic
from
from Trevor. That'd be good.
or just Trevor.cannibalistic.
Yeah, all that.
Yeah. So that happened, which was fine. But okay, so moving on to the serious stuff at hand. Of course, we have Energy versus WG kicking off any moment. And the first thing I want to talk about is the performances of two particular players from WG, being Fatcakes and Sin.
Yes.
So Fatcakes probably has any player actually carried as hard as Fatcakes this day?
I think he's the only player that 30 bombed today.
He's the only player 30 bombed. He carried his team through multiple rounds. Well, Sin helped a lot as well. It's not like Sin did badly. I think it's kind of crazy that probably Sin's performance like he was second best on his team, right? I'm probably one of the better players on the day. That's how good Fatcakes performed in that particular game. So it was really amazing. So I think what I'm interested to see, right, is how Energy decide to deal with it, because one of the ways that Energy we haven't really seen them have to strategize that much. We spoke about earlier because they just swept through the first game. So how do they deal, especially because I suspect they're going to lose the pistol round. WRG tends to have shown themselves to be very good on the pistol round and on the econ rounds. So after losing that, and then you're like, okay, fine, guys, now both Sin and Fatcakes have guns. We have nothing. What do we do now? How are they going to try and get around this?
Yeah, I think that's a fair point. I mean, WRG did show their worth when they were on the eco rounds. I think it's a little bit of a different situation, though, where EN is a lot more passive-aggressive in their style of play. So whereas DC was very passive, they slowed the game down a lot. And the aggression caught DC off guard. But now with Energy, them also being quite an aggressive T-side, which we saw, they, I think, won't get caught off guard that hard. And I don't think they'll get caught off guard, but they still need to watch out for it. They need to watch out for that push on the pistol, because both ecos, WRG pushed out and was very aggressive on CT side.
It's interesting. I mean, I'm quite impressed by your perception of this WG squad. I thought this would be a little bit more society towards Energy, because although you've spoken very positively about WG and the way they play, I'm sure we all agree, Ian, firm favourites going into this.
Oh yeah, definitely. I don't think this is going to be the walkover that maybe Ian thinks it might be. I think it's going to be close rounds, but that just depends on the map. I mean, if we see another Inferno coming out, then WRG might do a bit better, because that's a map that favors aggression. If you're not watching apps and the CTs push out of it, then you're going to get punished.
Yeah, you will, definitely. So WRG that's the map they're going to be trying to keep in the pool as much as possible.
I think so. Yeah.
Whilst not trying to give away cash or train. They might give away cash. They already saw how Energy play on cash, so maybe they've tried to prepare a strategy for that.
Yeah.
But I think train is an absolute no-go.
Train definitely should be a prior ban, I think, here for XTC. Listen to me. For WRG, because Energy's just that good on it.
Yeah.
they just are. So as we see, first ban from WRG is train.
Yeah,
and
it
then
just has
he's
to
getting
be.
banned out. And Inferno. I mean, so Energy, might have been.
Yeah, they were watching. They know.
They were watching.
They know what's up.
So we see both maps being banned out here. Best map from Energy, in my opinion, and Inferno being banned out by Energy just because of the good showing WRG had on it today.
Bonus point time, guys. Will we see a Mirage pick or ban?
No.
No. It doesn't. I don't know. Given what we've been seeing from the teams in this tournament, I think I doubt you'll see that. I think most teams have been trying to go for maps that you can either be aggressive or you can actually hold back and try and control the enemy team's movement. Mirage kind of favors. Like Mirage, you don't really have the option to just let the enemy team come to you. You can't really soak up pressure on Mirage. You kind of have to go out there, especially if you're playing on the CT side. Yeah. So I think most teams are looking for maps where on CT you can just soak up aggression, hold back, and then come out with counter attacks every now and then.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Here we go.
Oh wow, completely wrong.
Oh my word! Listen, is somebody just pranking me? Because,
possibly.
I say something and the opposite happens.
Yeah. I think it's the cost is curse, man.
Dude, that is not how the cost is curse works.
This is exactly how the cost is curse
You're a panelist. You're supposed to be right. This is not acceptable.
I mean, I literally didn't see this coming because this is the first time.
I know you didn't see this coming because you're wrong.
That's the first time the whole
I was expecting
Mirage
cash available.
Mirage hasn't even been banned.
Can I just say, I was being super lenient, right? So I'm taking your point away, right? You're back to 0.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
There we go.
At least minus from him.
And you're still ahead because he's -1.
Well, -1.
No, minus another one.
No, I like that. That's no.
Otherwise, you know what's going to happen. By the end of this event, he'll reach 0, and that's.
I mean,
we can go into negatives. I don't mind beating him by being -4 and he's -10.
I mind. They mind. This is not okay. Anyways,
I mean, Mirage is interesting though. I didn't think it would get picked up just because on the pure fact that we haven't seen it picked or banned at all today. So WRG picking up Mirage.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting.
I'm actually really excited to see this map. So jokes aside,
definitely.
It's the map I think that it will lead to the greatest amount of unpredictability in how the games are going to play out. Between CT and T, you're never going to be sure who's going to be the side that wants to make that initial jump. Especially because we know for a fact WRG is extremely aggressive on the eco rounds. We don't know exactly how Energy is going to perform because we haven't really seen Energy have to change their game style. Yeah. They just won basically from the get-go. So I don't know. We'll see.
On Mirage, though, specifically, mid-control is very important.
Yes.
Because, for those of you who don't know, mid-control on Mirage means that you can either split A, which you can go on through T-Ramp and connector, or you can split B, going on CAT and through apps. So it's an important part to get control of for the CTs and the terrorists, because you don't want to be pincered on a site. I mean, you just don't.
Well, it's actually interesting because you guys also mentioned beforehand that you thought the AWP battle was going to be quite interesting between these two sides, and mid generally something you control with an AWP. So maybe the best player in that position is going to be the one that decides this.
I think so. I mean, the AWP battle is interesting in Mirage because the CT, depending on spawn, can get there gets there before the terrorist. So the terrorist is peeking into a CT that's already established. Most of the time, depending on where the CT is in window, you can get a quick pre-fire and you get the kill. But it just depends on if the CT is holding through connector or through window.
Well, let's hand things back over to our casters. Gentlemen, perhaps you could tell us if you think Mirage was going to be picked. Of course, there is Congo and goals. Take away, guys.
Yeah, Mirage is a map that I think Energy always want to go towards. I think it's one of their more comfortable maps, but as Goals pointed out in the last game with Bravado and APG, Mirage does have that kind of, I would say, a level of uncertainty for a lot of the top teams playing up against teams that they might be slightly better than.
Look, I mean, for me, I mean, this veto will come down to Cash or Mirage, just purely based on the fact that the form that Energy have had on both Train and Cobble has been really, really at a high level of late. And at the end of the day, the two other maps which Energy banned were just some of the not really that played maps. So it was coming down to Cash and Mirage, and I think it was a coin flip between the two. I don't think this necessarily changes much. But I mean, to touch on what the panelists said, it's going to really revolve around the mid control, not only because of the wrapping onto the sites, but also to be able to leave a really, really potent flanker in a position where he can catch all the rotators, and I mean that's your goal as terrorists, is to do exactly that.
Nice enough win there by White Rabbit Gaming. That means they will get to choose what side, and they're going to go for the CT first. Obviously, I kind of like this. Looking at an underdog team, the CT does give you a certain level of stability that you can, hold your sights, hold your angles, get more comfortable with your aim, get locked into the game, as well as get a feel of your opponents. When you get a good CT side off, I think T side becomes a little bit more of a breath of fresh air, knowing that you've got some good momentum going and you've held some good angles. So yeah, I would say good choice, at least for WRG picking up that CT side.
Yeah, look, I mean, everyone wants to. CT is the easiest side on this map. So if you want to get off to a good start and put your opponents under pressure, then that it's probably the best option. We've obviously got a little bit of silly buggers going on here. I think Flexi was killed, or he joined the wrong team, and when he went over, he died. But as
long as they're having fun at the end of the day. But Energy, I mean, Mirage has always been like a map that I think that they're very, very comfortable on. And even though starting on CTs, I would say, as you said, the easier side to go on. There's still that level of, I would say, this new kind of anger that Energy are playing with. With the new lineup as well. We saw the confidence in their first game up against Southern 5 was a straight shot 16-2. So WRG actually had a much better T side up against DC. They brought that Inferno game back on the T side. So interestingly enough, I mean, they might actually, if they can get a couple of rounds on the T, I mean, go for like a 9-6, go for like a 9-6 or even an 8-7 on their CT, which is preferable for a map like Mirage. We might actually see them put up a really good score in Energy eSports. I mean, I don't want to go as far as say they're going to upset like they did DC, because Energy, I think, are here to prove something this weekend. But they are looking like a very, very strong team.
Yeah, well, here we go with the game, going live.
All right. Welcome. If you are just tuning in, this is VS Gaming. We're into round number 2, and it is going to be White Rabbit Gaming up against Energy eSports. If we make our way through the best of 1 winner bracket, we do have some teams already down to the lower bracket. No one's out yet, but there will be someone going home sad tonight, as our final game will be a best of 3 lower bracket game. But Energy eSports, my emphasis now on that B bomb site. We do have the one man lurking towards the A ramp, and I mean, the call could have been made already. I mean, a lot of numbers over towards the end. We've got a flank as well. Look at that number. We've got Fat Cakes looking to get behind Energy, and he's actually taking a look to see. There's quite a bit of information, but they've gone through lowers goals.
You see, the thing is, that they started walking B apps, and they forced the rotation back. I mean, White Rabbit Gaming were pushing up middle, and they had all the information. They've fallen back now, and now they're getting. We've got an exchange of kills here on the A side, and looks like Energy do have the advantage on this one. Canny is in a late flank position.
Yeah. Well, they're running to 4v2 right now. And I mean, WRG did a good hold there for the first time. I would say there was a rush out onto CT ramp from T's, which is natural for this. When you don't have any like smokes to hold off that angle, you kind of rush in, jumping around the corner there with his pistol out. Domster, doesn't matter. Takes the frag anyway. One player left on the side. Hulkies, can he do it? Can he overcome the banter from Cannibalistic and take this round on? But he's getting shot from all angles now, trying to figure it out. And eventually, Domster takes him down. So nice little first round there for Energy. Gets the bomb plant, gets the round as well.
Yeah, brilliant idea by them. I mean, what they did was they kept the contact always at close range. I mean, that's what you want with the Glock. Went through lowers, straight up connector, and they just rushed the site. And I mean, CT being such a strong position, to hold and such a key point, that's exactly why they're charging it down, because essentially on the retake they're going to hold CT, and they've got such a strong position to defend from. And they went for that, and it's worked out perfectly.
Well. Again, Flexi with the AK-47 going to look for a little bit of information on B. And I like that play. I like that you get that good B spawn. You get there nice and quick. You can catch them out. But Black Poison takes down Sinner in the mid. It's going to be a nice open up there. But Fat Cakes does answer, taking down Domster. But this is a good push here from Hulkies. Can't capitalize just yet, but it still puts them in a pretty decent position if they can secure one of those rifles. Unfortunately, the AK-47 is not going to be one, but they can maybe get little bit of something here. They are making their way to B bomb side, but nice nade comes out there from Tuckbook. But that's not going to be enough. Perhaps maybe the wrong time there for Synoptical to jump out of the window.
That was a bit of a close call there for Energy. What happened there is the CTs managed to clean up or clear out a ramp, and they immediately knew or could take a gamble to move towards the B site.
Yeah.
And they started rotating towards it, but that's when Black Poison got a pick off middle, and it delayed the entire rotation because now everybody's not that sure.
Yeah.
And eventually they landed up going on to B and having some success on the picks. And again, a nice idea as they did the basic thing to go against an anti-eco, and that's to stick majority of your teammates together and another feeler for some information.
Yeah, that should be. I think that should be like on one of the Valve homepages for pugs. Stick together when you're against an anti-eco because you can get killed one by one. But now talking about ecos, White Rabbit Gaming, their final round before that big buy. I think it's going to be quite a telling round as well between these two teams. But we will see now a little flash out in the mid looking for that information too. But Sinner's all the way out. So again, there's that info being fed that they are sort of out towards middle and out towards B. But is he going to capitalize on the kill here? Just yet? Not yet. Beezus does take down one at least. So they are sort of okay right now. Managed to pick up a rifle, so this is good. I mean, in terms of an eco round, they did quite a bit of damage there to Black Poison, but he did take down 2 frags before dying, so his job was done. Now it's just Beezus left alive. He's not going to be able to capitalize. And, well, Tuckbook, is that a 4K for him? 3K for Tuckbook.
Again, I mean, White Rabbit Gaming really getting that early information, and I'm surprised they're not being punished for it. They're clearing either Palace or A-Ramp every single round and not finding anyone there, getting all the information. But I mean, the mass amount of util and guns on the side of Energy, even if you have 5 guys, they'll molly you out and they'll find you and push you out of those angles and just take that round. But what's more interesting is what's going to go on this round, as it's our first gun round.
Yeah. And I like the immediate, play, kind of negate middle in a sense. Look for that information play once again. Like that right there. Very nice one there. Canny already down to 10 HP. So it's a little bit of info there, but look at this. This is the problem with not having that middle, but doesn't matter. Beezus is there, takes down Black Poison. So it's kind of what we really expected. I mean, a really, really good play there coming out from WRG. Sinner's playing that deep as well onto Catwalk. Nice pick through the smoke there by Sinner, and this is what we wanted to see, goals. This is what we were hoping for. Another push as well. That's going to be 2 players left alive here for Energy eSports. It's Flexi and Connie, but Connie got that really, really early tag as well. But he's got 10 HP, and we've seen him do more with less before. Like that just there, picks out the one, spots the second, not being able to get brought down. Flexi's still alive here, and there's a couple of AK-47s here for him to grab. So if he wants to clutch this round, it's not impossible. He still has a minute left on the map, so he's got time to play with.
Yeah, look, I mean, I think he's going to try and wait as long as he can for CT to make a mistake. But I mean, they're all very well aware of where he is and where the bomb's situated. So I think it's going to be a tough one for him to actually win. But I mean, we've seen, like you say, we've seen people do mad things. So I mean, let's see what he can do. Yeah, it does look like they expect him to come up the connector side.
Yeah. Well, he's going to take a peek around here. And if he manages to catch him into a couple of 1v1s, I mean, it's possible, but not like that.
Lovely hold there by WRG. What I found quite interesting there is that they basically made the assumption that on this gun round, Energy eSports would be taking middle. And like you said, they just negated middle. They left the window completely. They doubled up in connector, and they caught off one of the Energy players with an off angle, and it was landed up that first pick snowballed into a second, and suddenly they had the advantage, and they played very well. They didn't push, they didn't go hunt, and very, very well disciplined CS. Oh, Black Poison with the shot there on the A ramp. He obviously got a very nice spawn, and he managed to catch the CT that was cheekily jumping straight to connector. And I assume it's for the same setup, actually. Funny enough,
that is a crazy shot.
They got punished for it.
But that shot alone is incredible. It's so quick. I mean, I would half expect Black Poison to pull that kind of stuff off. But now 1 man down, already fat case down. But the information, and that plays a lot for the information game as well, because now they've got 1 less player to keep that 1 angle. And Dumpster being really, really cheeky here. Oh, he's getting tagged from Catwalk, and I'm liking that as well. So they're playing on that Catwalk, just doing as much work as he can. But now they're trying to get him out.
You see, this is where as the controller goes, even though they took the control of connector, they didn't necessarily split on A, but they just got Dom into the connector, and he had to just wait for any sort of rotation. So while they're actually hitting short, you know, he's catching guys with knives out and things, and he's actually, you know, getting some nice flank, or, you know, doing his flanking role really well from that connect area, and that's the importance of mid control.
Well, unfortunate hard reset there for White Rabbit Gaming.
Seem to get a lot of these. It's very unfortunate. Just those consecutive rounds, and specifically on CT, I mean, it's really important to maintain that economy, especially if you want to go for any sort of AWP in your strategy. And, you know, now getting this reset, it's harsh on the economy and harsh on the mindset.
Well, they didn't go for the AWP in the first buy round, interestingly enough. They'd rather relied on those close angles at the panel. But look at this, though, push into A main. They're gonna get rewarded with 2 there. But actually 3 goes down. One more player coming out of Palace, sorry. And Sinner's going to go around and grab some rifles, and this is great. Gets the AWP, which is a big one. We just spoke about getting out that AWP, and Sinner just gets gifted one as well. Kenny's out on A side. He's getting tagged from Catwalk, so he has to watch all the angles at the moment, but I'm pretty sure they've assumed they've gone for this AWP, but this might be enough. Tags him on the leg. Good flash comes out. There's one player. There's one player coming behind. He's going to rope in. Gets the one. Can he get the second? Not enough. But it's 100 HP versus 15, and Flexi has the bomb. So what's the play here, Goals? I mean, he's obviously going to wait for the plant and then try to take it back.
Yeah, look, I mean, I think Sinner's taking a big gamble here, and I actually quite like this. He's running all the way back towards the connector side. I actually saw something similar to this with that Immortals did.
Yeah.
And you know, he's got a nice angle coming from the connector side. And let's just see, because you can see Flexi's really worried about the T side, but now he's clicked in. And he's now spotting the connector, because, you know, if the guy was ramp or apps, he would have peeked already. So
does he not see his head? How does he not see his head?
He hasn't focused yet. It's very unfortunate. But nevertheless, I mean, to go a full James Bond eco round and manage to pick off that.
I mean, look at the cash.
Exactly, they've balanced out the cash. That was a really good full eco round from WRG. And what I liked there was that they decided to do something together, and regardless, you know, they committed together as a team. And, you know, the benefit being, if it was 1 player or 3, you know, they could try to get as many picks off the bat as they could, instead of getting just mollied out of corners and, you know, going into default holds. And they're doing the same thing here in middle. I mean, you know, I really like this. They're just investing. Oh,
unfortunate team flash coming out there. Attack box ready now, waiting for him to all push out. That's just going to be an absolute slaughter on the mid. Very unfortunate team flash. That would have gone very different if they didn't get that first man flash, but obviously just a little bit of, I would say, overzealous pushing coming out there. And it's just unfortunate. I mean, that final round, the previous round, was just, you know, just so close for to being probably one of the biggest rounds WRG could get in this map so far. But at the same time now, he has the angle, but it's not going to be able to capitalize on it. It's getting sprayed by Flexi from the opposite angle. And, well, I mean, there we go. Energy 6-1, and now we're going to see the bar coming out from WRG. But are they going to opt in for that AWP now? They are, in fact. Hulky's going to switch it over to Synoptical, as expected. I'd be interested to see where he actually takes this AWP. I mean, middle is probably just going to get smoked off, so I'd like to see him getting aggressive in B-apps or I was thinking, yeah, take it towards B-apps, or even, you know, look for that connector shot as well. Black Poison, a little bit of a worse spawn coming out here. And the AWP is out in middle. So interestingly enough, he's going to try to look for that pick. And that's spot one player. Let's be a nice little molly to flash him out. And he's going to be able to get that information. So you might have seen 1 or 2 players moving across there. If flashbang comes out from a teammate, it's not going to be enough. And now that he's kind of pulled their attention perhaps towards middle, you know, he can kind of back off a bit with the AWP. But Black Poison right now won't be able to get it. He gets peeked by Beasters. There's double AWP setup. We actually missed that. Silly me. But gets peeked by Beasters as well. Peeks advantage, takes him down. And that's going to take out the AWP on NG eSports. But Dom's is in a pretty good position here as well. And I'm not sure if they've noticed, but you know, he's still holding on to this middle position too. Synoptical doesn't want to give it up, because now they've kind of got them in a bit of a hold. They've taken out the guy in A. And now what are the options left here for Energy eSports? Well, this is it. So I think their best option here is they need to even the battlefield, which is exactly what they've done. And getting that mid control resulted in him getting up connector, and you know he's got the pick. He seems to getting challenged from short. Yeah. They need to try and breach the site here before Hulky makes the rotation. Well, they might still have a little bit of superior firepower, but there are 2 flashbangs in the hands of Hulky. So if they are going to get that breach in, might want to just grab the second AWP. Maybe what's the play here? Save the AWPs, because they're both on this economy now, but we'll have to wait and see. Beast is out on the edge. They're looking for that AWP shot. Does Hulky's go for the AWP? Is he able to maybe pick off one of the players here? Maybe just upset maybe just a little bit more cash inside of Energy Esports to stop allowing them to just free buy every round. Nice little pick there as well. And this is actually looking a little bit better here. Picks up the AK-47, but the bomb is ticking away quite hard. That's going to be a second. Now Domster left alive. They have to commit. Oh, no, Domster's there playing the tap-in game. Gets a tap and a spray down.
Lovely. You know, that another thing that we saw earlier with Energy, and they're doing it again here on Mirage, is they're playing in such tradable positions. I mean, the guy on A ramp, as soon as the guy stays or in sandwich gets killed, he can trade from ramp. And as soon as, you know, if, in the case that both of them die, you know, you've pretty much got the safest position, and that is at the bottom of connector with the bomb planted for you. Basically, the round handed on a silver platter. Look, Dom still had to execute it well and make the shots, but I mean, he's no stranger to doing that. So, well played by Energy Esports.
This is looking really cool. Little setup coming out here, but look at the aggression goals. This could be incredible. They get the flash over there. Oh, they get 1-2. Beautiful. Beautiful from WRG. They're going to go for more here. Beezus is hungry. He wants to get the last guy. He pulls out the AWP. Might look for the peak as well. This could have possibly been a clean sweep there. But now look at Flexi. If Flexi does this, I don't even know. Oh,
lovely round there by WRG. You know, they, like I said, you know, sticking together and committing to some sort of idea. And I mean, I even say this to my own teammates. I say, you know, even if the idea is running backwards with your knife out, you know, as long as you're committing to it as a team and everyone believes in it, you know, your chances of winning are a lot higher. And you know, they've done it there where Energy went for a full-on execute. And I feel like I need to question that a little bit because, you know, they knew that they were going to be saving. They knew they had low things. So there's no need for smokes and things. Why, you know, just run out and get the easy frags. But, you know.
Well, just to explain for some of the viewers who perhaps aren't so clued up on Counter-Strike, there are two ways to play an eco. Either you hold your angles close with your pistols, you upgrade pistol hold angles, or you balls to the wall, rush out, get a frag. And that's exactly what WRG there. WRG did. Yeah, but 9 times out of 10, you're going to go for the balls to the wall. But now there comes the setup once again. So WRG not calling this one out, unfortunately, but they are going to try make their way onto the side. Bomb going to get planted safe in the smoke, trying to get the spray down. Your Sinners hopeful with that one there. Won't take the bomb planter at all. They will get the bomb down, and they take down 2 players in the process as well. So fantastic little execute there from Energy. They just wanted to show the viewers that they can actually do it. They can do the setup very well. They just, you know, when they're getting rushed with pistols, it's a little bit tough.
Look, I think...
Oh, wow. What a play for Cannibalistic. Can he make it a third?
Yes.
Last bullet. He does get dinked, though.
Yeah, lovely round there by Energy. You know, they pulled off a really, really well executed strat. I mean, you know, as the bomb went down, if you noticed the utility, you know, every single player on Energy had used everything, and they had pushed back the players from CT. They had pushed the players back from the connect jungle area, and they had the rest smoked off, and they could just plant and get into those post-plant positions. And you know, that's where your Tech 9s and things are really beneficial because suddenly your angles are all closed up, and it results in you being close range. So really, really good stuff there from Energy.
Well, they are going to opt for the second option now of an eco. See, I'm glad I get to show this. So people that aren't familiar, they get to see now what I was talking about. They're going to go for the safe one there, but Energy's still a little bit undecided. And again, goals, we see a hard reset coming out for WRG after, you know, having a fantastic eco round, picking up some guns, and then losing out like that. But Sinner, expected there by Domster, sits and waits for that push. He knows they're going to be coming on the aggressive with the eco. So Energy perhaps this time a little more, I would say a little more learned. They understand that they could be rushing and looking for information with those roams and the pistols, but at the same time WRG go for the other option. They're like, no, we're just going to hang it out. Oh, inspecting his gun. Does get a bit of a body tag there. It's going to be just a little bit enough to show where Canny is, but Bomb is still quite a while away, so it's a run back now, and Energy still have options. Minute left in the game. 5 people alive.
Look, I mean, you know, they've got guys on both ends of the maps that are getting information, and as you can see, I mean, the guy on A ramp by Tetris, he's pretty much cleared the whole side. He hasn't seen movement for some time, so they've got the guy on B looking for the further information. He's picking up contact now, and he realizes, well, it's most likely a stack, just like the other guy would have told him. And now they're going to just clear out A and plant, and you know, this is disciplined CS. This is good to see.
Well, Energy showing restraint, as Goals said, something that you might not have seen in the past from the Energy Esports lineup, but we did talk a little bit about Black Poison's influence on the team and how their Counter-Strike has changed a little bit since his addition. But now it's an optical, very low HP. A sneeze might kill him, but God, 1 second too late there on the trigger. It just wasn't enough. His crosshair was on his head, just could not click that fast enough. Nice little peek coming out there as well. And well, we'll see now. 2 frags for Domster this round alone, and only 1 for Cannibalistic. So Domster has been having a fantastic week of CSGO. Let's just say that right there. And I hope it continues throughout the weekend as well. Just bring us a lot more exciting games, but they are going to save their upgraded pistols. And oh, can he steal a gun? That's the question. Oh, Got it.
Get one more, yeah. No, he gets picked off. You know, I mean, you're speaking about Black Poison, and you can definitely see that the level of discipline and restraint on pushing and killing. I mean, specifically in Cannibalistic's play. I mean, you can see in recently he would have just ran out and tried to get kills as often as he possibly could, and get them most of the time. But now there's a high level of restraint and discipline, but also calculated aggression. But that's the difference.
I like this now from WRG. They want to change things up a little bit there. Still going to play from the connector, but still getting that quick jump out. Actually, 1 or 2 men, so they want that control. But again, here come the smokes out from Energy Esports. That's the same thing they did on the last buy round as well, except they had pistols last time. So WRG looking to get more points there, and I think we've kind of passed that point of pause right now, where attack pause would have been really beneficial for WRG just to kind of slow things down, because you speak about the Cannibalistic, and I've even noticed he's no longer triple peeking people. He would usually go peek.
Peekalistic.
Yeah, and everyone would expect it, and everyone would kill him for it. So we don't see him doing many of them. He does from time to time, but I think there's that restraint coming in. But again, out onto A, they go. Lots of mollies raining down here onto the A bomb side, from both teams. In fact, Fat Cakes picks up one. The Orb still channeling in onto that Palace push as well. Nice from top of the smoke. Synoptical makes one. He wants to go for the bomb planter. He doesn't get it in time. Oh, she did. He killed him. Fantastic double kill there for Synoptical before he goes down. And now nice little hold coming out as well. Fat Cakes deals with Cannibalistic. One player left alive here. Tuckball. Oh, the Tech-9's out, goals. The Tech-9's out.
He's got it.
He's got it.
My money's on Tuckball.
Yeah, Tuck is going to win this one.
Tuckball 9.
Tuck-9, here he comes. First kill.
Another
First
one.
kill, there it is. It's got 41 HP. Come on, Tucky, take the Tech-9 out. Oh, no. It's a 1v1, though. Both of them 60 HP versus 41 HP. So, I mean, they both got... one's got AK-47, so whoever lands that first tap is going to win this round. And that's going to be fantastic play. The bomb
and
is...
Fat Cakes with a really nice player. He's just going to the short. What a lovely move there of position. What I really liked there was an adjustment from both teams. So on the gun rounds, Energy have been really, really focusing on that mid control and making sure that they get a person into middle. And WRG's adjustment after their series of saves, they've decided now to get aggressive in middle with guns. And once they cleared it, they had to fall back. Energy, they were waiting to set up for the A execute, and they delayed it a little bit, and that allowed WRG to get back into the site and be able to play it a proper default hold. Had Energy executed just seconds earlier, they would have had the site with no problem.
Yes, Hulkies out from lowers. He gets the one. And now they know he's there, but they haven't really looked to punish him just yet. I mean, is he going to get flashed out of middle? That's the question. He's still holding down on lowers, so there he comes out, and he manages to sneak all the way back with that nice little smoke coming out there. And WRG doing some good things right now. Domster does go down as well. That's the raid boss down for Energy Esports. So now it's just to look forward and see if they can get a couple of more picks. Going to be the B push once again. Have to go back all the way back for that bomb. They have got control of Catwalk, which is always, I would say, a little bit dangerous. You don't really have your back looking towards that connector. They have smoked it off as well. So now it's just this play. And they've gotten themselves in pretty good positions here. Cannibalistic. It's going to be a tough one, but I would have loved to see what Hulkies did there. Oh god, this is going to be it. Oh.
See, that's exactly what I was talking about. When you take middle, you want to get a guy in connect, or you want to get a guy into ladder room, and they can very easily see if you force the rotations or not, and that's exactly what Energy have done here. And what I liked as well is that clearly WRG are tired of getting bullied middle, and they've decided to take it into their own hands and contest it. And I think they did a good job at the beginning, but getting the guy into connector, into Ventrum, and punishing the rotations, that was the game plan, and it seems to have worked.
Oh, double spray down there for Synoptical. He doesn't get the bomb planter though, but now Black Poison and Cannibalistic alive, and this is where I think this combo is quite deadly between these two players. We've seen the kind of setups Energy do when they have the bomb plant down, and Canny's actually going all the way back around. And
this is lovely.
Yeah. No, it's going to be a nice little flick. He spots his shoulder and he gets it so quick for us. I mean, we were on like a 25 tick server for GoTV, so those shots look incredible for us. They just flick. But the pause comes out now after another hard reset for WR. Sorry, it's actually an Energy tech pause, interestingly enough. So Energy opting in for this pause right now. But I mean, look at that. As I said, Domster just having a great round. I mean, but what you talk like? Is it now? Would you say it's like late round execution right now? That's kind of the problem for White Rabbit Gaming, because you sound like you're happy with what's happening at the beginning of the round, the information they're seeking, but it feels like that late game kind of closeout is what they're struggling with now.
I think so. I mean, they look, the rounds are the scoreline doesn't really represent how close the rounds actually are. I mean, they're having quite a bit of success. In terms of the trading the frags and things, it always just ends up becoming a 2v2 where they're just simply getting out-positioned and out-traded by energy. And I think what they perhaps need to do is commit a little bit more into the original position. I mean, in middle, I really feel like a proper pop flash from the A site in towards middle, with guys stepping from connector, the guys stepping from lowers. You potentially could have made that 1-for-1 trade into a 2-for-1. And I mean, when you're playing on the CT side, you don't want to be trading 1-for-1 that's definitely favoring the terrorists. I mean, that's exactly what they want. It leaves one of your sites a little bit weaker. And also, I mean, they're leaving the sides of the map very, very weak by focusing on that mid control. So I mean, once energy seem to be realizing that, and just waiting it out. And here we go, another mid push.
There's a really good flash coming out as well, but the counter flash was there from Energy Esports, and now the cleanup crew has arrived, and it's Dumpster once again. And I think they've kind of figured that out now. They kind of know that WRG are looking for that mid control, and Energy seems to be dealing with it perfectly. They're getting some good flashes out early on. Black Poison does pick up another one there, and it's Candy coming in from that A-bomb side. So again, it's just a swarm right now coming onto this pretty much on every angle they can. Energy swarming onto the site.
They're going for the last round. They want to buy whatever they can. In the last round, try get that those 4 rounds, so that if you do lose the pistol, you've at least got 3. You got a gun round to work with and make the big comeback happen. So I mean, you can't really expect much from a full eco. I mean, the 1 round they did manage to do very, very well, but generally speaking, it's very, very tough to actually get some any sort of result, especially like you said, Energy playing very disciplined in the mid control, making sure the flashes are there, whether there's a person or there's 5. And they're covering their basics, and they're doing it well.
We have a couple of challenges going on the map right now. We've got one here between Flexi and Hulkies in the B apartments, and we've got Black Poison poking around on A as well. Flexi going to win that one, but Beezus does answering from Catwalk, so it's going to be a nice little information pick as well. But as you said, trading with the CT, they're not favorable, unfortunately, for WRG. Nice little pop flash out again. Oh, they almost kiss! At Dumpster with a quick, cheeky duck. I like that. He crouched immediately as he started spraying, because he knew they were both going to be shooting each other's faces. So a nice little jump down there. Dumpster is left on 8 HP, though. So, I mean, that is, I'll say, a little bit of an issue. But don't think it's mattering right now. Sinner.
Seeing him through the smoke. As the smoke's fading there's a second or 2 before it completely fades, where you can see the enemy on your radar, and that's where your really aware players that are looking for those types of things are picking up.
Yeah, we learn something every day.
That's why right before the smoke lands up dissipating, you'll see guys that end up looking at the smoke. Oh, and then they spam it. So that's how Trevor actually picked that up. I mean, even your teammates can call it. They'll just say, "Hey, we saw him on the map," and then you know that he's hiding in the smoke.
Interesting. Okay. Well, there we go. Now we all learned something with Professor Goals. Really interesting. But now onto the switch right now. Energy Sports 12 to WRG's 3. And we'll see what this pistol tells. I mean, White Rabbit Gaming, once again, I feel like every match we've cast today, it's like we talk about how important the second half pistol is for the team who's behind. And Fat Cake's quite a big rush up here. They might have almost caught the guy coming up there, but have a look at this. Nice little flash as well. Kenny has to fall back. They're going to rush him in here with the USPs. That's going to be great. But Black Poison playing from that jungle area is going to pick up 2, actually. Fantastic there. And again, falling back into this BA CT.
Slight overextension there. You got the first pick. There was no need to push any further than that. And I mean, they played it very, very well. They flashed as they were breaching lows, and they got spotted. The guy had to fall back, and as he was falling back, there was a flash coming over a ramp, and it cost that CT his life. But just a little bit of overextension, and it allowed Black Poison to get the first pick, get into a favorable position, and land the second shot. And now we're sitting in a even 3v3 situation.
Even's is a tough word to use, as we see 2 players. Okay, one goes down about 13 HP on Synoptical, but in a 3v3, I mean, the rush. I mean, Black Poison there was just the winner of that round, taking out those 2 players peeking him. Nice little pick there though from
lovely shot.
Synoptical, catches him crouching in the corner, And the bomb will go down here for WRG. So can they have this? Can they have a good post plant? I don't think they have time to have a good post plant at all, with the energy kind of just wrapping in.
See what Sakbok needs to do now is just wait for his teammate to change position and come and assist him. And he's doing exactly that. He's coming through window, but Synoptical will hear him.
Oh.
Very low HP, can't really do much about that.
Well, he's in an okay position right now if he wants to go for that. He has to just disrupt them for long enough, but they do have a kit, so it's going to be a defuse for Energy Esports there. And rightfully so. I mean, getting a bomb plant down, that means they will get a buyout in the 14th round. Oh, good
replay.
Solid replay.
A panel discussion.
I like that.
I'm sad I missed it.
Oh well, yeah. So with the buy coming out now, a smart move not to touch a single thing, not even two upgraded pistols here, keeping the cash as light as possible. They want to get that gun out the next round. 14th round for Energy Esports would mean that they'd have to get those guns out, and I don't. They might go for a little upset, a little eco upset, but it doesn't look like that might be the emphasis here.
This is essentially a full save with a couple of upgraded pistols, right? What I would prefer to see, I mean, your goal here on a full save, the best scenario is to get the bomb down, and I just feel like sacrificing potentially a deagle or a P250 for a smoke and 2 flashes or whatever it may be, you can definitely push the CTs back to a position where you're able to get that plant. And I feel like this is not, unless you got a wild deagler who's already dead, unfortunately. The benefit of the round, I mean, it's pretty much now just a time game, and you're going to wait it out and wait until you walk into the rifles of Energy. So, I mean, that's personally, I think that would have been a slightly better option. But I mean, these rounds are very difficult to actually get anything done. So, I think the next round is going to be a very pivotal point in this game. And I mean, they want to go for the win. They're buying on the 14th. So, let's see what happens.
Think about that. One good flash can change around completely.
100%.
Like you get two people.
Same as a bad flash.
Yeah, 100% as well. Yeah, you get a bad flash, kill your team. Cannibalistic though does get dealt with on the balcony. That's going to be another CT clean sweep, or a CT sweep there. In fact, the Kenny went down. But yeah, 100%. You could smoke your smoke off. I mean, even going for not upgrading your pistols, going for like a smoke train on A, just running in there, getting that bomb down.
Exactly what Energy did when they went for that bomb plant. They actually converted the round. They had armor and a lot more util. But I mean, that idea, exactly that. I mean, that's what you want to do. You want to get that bomb down. And I think having a strategy like that in your arsenal is very, very important.
Well, Energy Esports now going to be facing off against a whole array of AK-47s, but it's not going to be up. Tuckport was in what could have been the winning position right there. But he did manage to take down one, but there's going to be a CT down, and now in the 4v4. The information, at least, was, I think, better than the kill there for Tuckport was the information that he's now be able to feed to Energy Esports as Black Poison. You do see him immediately move to the left.
And you can see now that, once they got that frag, the guys rushed up lowers and they went to go fetch the gun or whatever they did there. But that just enabled, I think it is Flexi that is pushing the B apps there. And, he's heard their move lowers, so he knows they're not watching behind it. They've got all the info in the world here. And they know that they're sitting in middle. They know they're sitting towards A. And they really don't. All they can do now is just literally make a strong rotation and hold either middle and A. And it's exactly what they're doing.
Well, nice little rotation there from Domster, manages to pick up pieces. So already trouble in-house White Rabbit. Synoptical does answer with a nice heady onto Cannibalistic in A. So now he's got a little bit of room to work with here, but all of a sudden just turns it right around. Domster does go down. So we're finally not going to see White Rabbit getting eco reset again. So they will be able to get this to single this round out here, and it's to make it 14-4. And rounds like this, and if the rounds continue to be this close, goals, and if they continue to keep taking rounds off the esports slowly but surely, they don't have rounds to work with, but if we're going to see it going down to 2v2s the whole time, we're going to see an economic struggle for Energy Esports on their city side.
Well, I mean, that economic struggle is already real. I mean, if you look there, they can't even, they're going to put together a force buy, but fortunately, they've got enough rounds to gamble this and just invest in this round. And I mean, if they win this round, the game's over.
Yeah.
They've hard reset White Rabbit Gaming, and that's what they're going to do. At the end of the last round, I feel like a lot of the duels just came down to simple 1v1s, and there was no trade potential in the Energy setups. And at the end of the day, with an aim duel, the other guys got formidable aim, so you might lose those. And unfortunately, they lost all three.
Well, looks like information here on the B-bomb side. Domster plays it smart, doesn't want to lose his gun just yet with peeking recklessly, so he does chuck a smoke out. going to be enough to hold them down. A little bit of spray as well. Doesn't tag anyone. Still just slow play coming out here. And yeah, I mean, you're throwing this buy together. You know, I think a lot of CT teams say that. They're like, oh, we got a lot of rounds. Let's just buy up and force it. Meanwhile, you do that for 4 rounds in a row, and all of a sudden you're looking at a real game on your hands here because you've let the other team get up to 8 rounds or even 9 rounds.
Yeah, look, I mean, anything after this round, I would say would be definitely questionable. But I mean, considering that you if you win this round, the last round went to a 2v1, I believe. No, there was 3 remaining players. So, I mean, if you kill them here, at most they're going to have 3 guns, and that sort of becomes an easy round to convert into the map victory. But I mean, here we got a nice B execute going and a scout shot by Black Poison.
Well, they're going to storm in, but there are a couple of players in the side. Domster's there with his M4. He takes down 1. He's turning around, takes another. Domster once again just being that flagpole for Energy Esports. Roots himself and kills 3.
It was a very broken up breach there by WRG, and I mean, they're mulling off the car, and one of the guys is coming out and he's trying to clear that angle, and he's just getting shot from the side. I feel like that first, I didn't get to see the shot, but Black Poison probably got a really, really nice shot. And once you kill the first, the spearhead of that breach, it just becomes a blunt stick, and at the end of the day, it breaks it up, breaks the momentum, and that's where Energy were able to rotate and just trade out and take the round.
Well, WRG clutching at straws at the moment, trying to get whatever they can into their pockets and onto their waistbands. But nice little jump down here. Sinner takes down Canny, punishes him for that aggressive position, and out they come onto A. So it's not over yet, goals, but Tuckbrook does answer through the smoke. But look at this. This could be the one. Wow. Are they going to? I don't think so. Maybe, but not yet. Let's wait and find out. Sinner, though, trapped in that sandwich.
This is a very tough situation to be in. I mean, all the CTs are together. And they know that all the terrorists are on the site, so they're just waiting patiently. They're getting a flanker now to come from CT, and once he gets there, if he doesn't get picked off at the WRG in a real tough spot.
That's the spread onto the box there as well, but WRG are pretty low, and there's still a little bit of utility on Energy Esports. There's 2 flashbangs coming out for WRG, so they can use this to their advantage as the bomb ticks away, but they're a little bit aware of the player in sandwich. He flashes himself out to get away, and that's going to be 2v2 right now, but Energy Esports do want to take that final W against WRG, and there it is. Going to get the defuse, and that's going to be a 16-4 to Energy Esports, looking really strong.
Looking score lines, and 16-4 and the previous one was 16-2, both of which they started on the T side. So they've really shown today that they are forced to be reckoned with, and you can see obviously the guys very glad their games are done for the day, I believe. So they look very strong, and I'm looking forward to seeing them playing tomorrow in the upper bracket games.
Yeah, well, we still have 2 more games left for the day. We've got the next winner bracket game between XTC and Bravado Gaming. That's going to be a cracker as well. And then we will return later after dinner for the best of 3 lower bracket final, where we will unfortunately send someone home on the first day. And I don't know why comps do that, man. Let the guys at least make it to the Saturday, throw them out in the morning, check them out.
I'm most upset that I got the first game in the morning and the last game of the evening, so it's going to be a long day. But
it's going to be a great day.
Well, it's what we do for what we love, so no problem there.
Well, guys, we're going to hand it back over to Halberd, Snare, and Recoil, and they're going to round us out for this game as we prepare for the second last game of the night.
Great, thanks very much, guys. In the end, it seems WG not quite able to keep up with Energy. A couple of valiant performances from attempts, I guess we can say. Yeah. But in the end, obviously, Ian just too strong. Somewhat what we expected. In between the panel, we actually did our predictions. What was your prediction?
I said 16-4. No, 16-6, sorry. I said 16-6.
I was just about to say.
I said 16-6. But I'm the closest because you said 7 and he said 8.
Yeah, I had a bit more faith in WRG. I said 16-8. Look, this scoreline really doesn't show how close the rounds were.
Yeah.
I know Congo touched on it a bit, where he said every round was close. Literally, there was 1 or 2 players left on the side of Energy. And if that had carried on when they were on CT side, it really wrecks the CT economy. Because obviously we know CT weapons are more expensive than T weapons.
I think the problem that came in, though, is as close as the rounds were, and usually there was only like 1 or 2 players left, very often the two players left on the energy side would be Domster, which
Domster and Connie.
Domster and Connie would be the ones alive. And Connie just had an amazing performance. So it's like, okay, cool. The two people that we can't kill are the people that are killing everybody else. So it was kind of a problem. And I also think for WRG, the players that we, like the way that we expected them to play, it felt like Synoptical had to step up a lot in this game. He plays a lot more slow style. And we saw the majority of the kills that he was getting was slow, encroaching upon the positions where Energy was hiding somewhere, knowing where they were, just down to pure map knowledge, and then getting kills. But just in the 1v1 duels, we saw that most of the time Energy was outclassing WRG. And so I think, honestly, Synoptical calling the movements around the map, or calling the movements around how they should move, especially around the mid area where we saw Energy having complete dominance, right? Kept them in the game. The scoreline could have actually been worse, but it was really good. It was still an amazing performance from WRG, but sadly, strategically, they just couldn't get the map win, which is what you actually need to get in this game.
Yeah, mid control on. I emphasized it before the game started. Mid control on Mirage is game winning, and that's what we saw from Energy. They dominated the mid area. The one round I actually want to touch on is where WRG had some aggression going up mid. It was the 7th round. They all rushed up mid, and they flashed once, and they caught, I think it was Takbok and Carney completely blind. And then they flashed again, and the whole WRG team was flashed. And then Takbok and Carney was like, well, we know you're coming, so have some bullets in your heads. Which was very unfortunate. We did see a lot of WRG aggression on the eco rounds, though. Again, it paid off for them. They won 2 rounds off of it. One very good rush down T-ramp. Energy was setting up for an execute on A side. And they pushed through and completely just decimated them. Flexi came from behind, got 1 or 2, but still, there were 3 players left on the side of WRG, and that's economy-wise and saving weapons-wise, that's amazing. I mean, they got an AWP out of it as well.
Something interesting though. Do you guys think that for something I noticed is that WRG didn't do well in all the rounds that they had an AWP, but when they didn't have an AWP, where they had lower grade guns, they did extremely well. Basically, I think that the key might be for WRG just to not buy weapons that require you to kind of sit back.
Just not buy weapons.
Just not buy when they don't buy weapons, they win. When you just
armor up.
I think they should learn
pistols.
from I hate to bring back Dota, but their Dota team's mentality of just run at the enemy and cool things will happen. Because we actually see that skill-wise, they can actually do this. If they just run at the enemy and force them into a position where you're uncomfortable, you just have to react immediately on the moment. You can actually win, and you can actually force even Energy to make a couple of mistakes. All the rounds that WRG won was rounds where they either were extremely aggressive or they forced Ian to make mistakes.
That's true.
But just don't let them be comfortable. Don't let them actually play the strategy, because in that case, it's not going to go well for you.
Yeah, it comes down to what we were saying earlier. You want to let the enemy team play your game. Don't play the enemy team's game.
So you said something earlier, Snare, that I thought was quite interesting. You spoke about Synoptic, and you felt he was playing quite a smart CS.
Yeah, he was playing incredibly intelligent game. So very often, there was one push where they were trying to go, I think Ian was going towards A side, right? And then he just slowly crept through the T-ramp, and he was walking, and he got 2 kills out of it. He brings down Kani, goes around, Domster was able to get a kill, but before Domster could actually get the diffuse off, he comes in behind him and kills him as well. And you're like, oh wow, where was this guy this entire time? But just quietly. I think he actually had the most kills on his team for WRG.
I'm not too sure. I didn't see the end.
I suspect it feels like it, because all the times when good things were happening, it was just him quietly and calmly making really big plays happen. And even the couple of times that he died, he would die in a situation, right, where Energy can't immediately capitalize and they can't immediately get an advantage out of it. So he played very smart, intelligent to it. CS, sorry.
Well,
what's the habit?
We're playing CS.
What's the habit?
He's just dropping some hints about what's the next VS gaming event to be. Right, well, I think we'll wrap things off here, but I think fair to say that WG probably a force to be reckoned with in the low bracket. Nothing to do. Consider being a breeze. They'll definitely give some good shows. They said some close rounds. Just Ian, obviously more experienced side, and obviously more claimed side, doing what they do best. Before we go off to the break, I do have, of course, some more stats for you. 95% of you were right. Energy did take this one, and kudos to the 5% who felt that WG would do this. Good fans once again.
Yeah, good hardcore fans.
Yeah, go. Let's go. There's not one offside. Go watch some Dota. You'll be right there. And of course, congratulations to. I'm not even going to try and pronounce this nickname. It's like.
Oh dear.
Black KGZ, JP Detroit. Your name is weird. Your entire name is weird. but you are the new owner of a StatTrack AK-47 with a point disarray. So congratulations for that. And on that note, I think it's about time we all take a little bit of a breather and allow you guys to, I don't know, WhatsApp your girlfriends or something to remind them that you still exist. Because I'm sure you're all glued to your screens watching the CS. But until then, we'll see you a little bit later. Cheers, guys.